I would like to present to you another group of superheroes. It's the Education Foundation's dynamic duo. So I'm going to ask Pam and I'm going to ask Judy to please join me up here, please. Each get a side. Our Huron Valley Education Foundation was founded back in 1996 by a group of committed parents, community leaders, and educators to provide children in our area with greater opportunities to enhance their learning experiences and help them thrive in an increasingly changing, complex world. To date, our Huron Valley Education Foundation has funded over 260 grants. We have provided more than $140,000 for innovation educational experiences for our kids. These awards and grants have been made for literacy, science, math, arts, special needs, and more innovative ideas. Back in 2005, our trustees and board also began an endowment fund which now is currently grown to over $150,000, and those monies currently help to fund our grants. The reason we're here tonight, besides with our educational foundation and the great works that they do, there are two volunteers. The Huron Valley Education Foundation is made up of volunteers, and there are two people who are responsible for getting the money out of our account and into the hands of teachers and students in our district. Those people are Pam McAuliffe and Judy Pierce. Judy Pierce is one person who volunteers and is working behind the scenes for us. Judy takes care of all of our paperwork. She takes and keeps a log of all of the contributions that are sent in for grant requests. Judy duplicates that for our committee and helps us with all of the paperwork that we need to do this. On the other hand, there's another woman who's working out front, another volunteer, Pam McAuliffe. She is the woman who goes around to our schools, talks with teachers, makes grant forms available. She's also been out there recruiting and has been available to our staff and our teachers during times when we can work with the teachers and ask them what they would be interested in. So on behalf of the work that these two women do, I just want you to know they are the conduit that gets the money to the classroom. And they are certainly have made a difference. They are two of the best volunteers we have in Huron Valley. So I want to say thank you very much and, of course, recognize both of them for their work. Thank you.
Judy and Pam, on behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to say thank you. You truly have made a difference in the lives of our kids. To the grant lady, Pam, congratulations. And to that silent behind-the-scene worker of all, Miss Judy. So thank you very much.
I'd also like to introduce Mr. Dan Crowley. He's currently also a trustee with our foundation and is our president. He would like to speak for a minute.
Thank you, Ms. Cotter. I think I'm the chairman.
Chairman?
President. I'll take president.
Okay.
First of all, thank you to the board for having us here tonight to have this recognition for our two of our most key volunteers, Pam and Judy. I've been the chairman of the foundation for about coming up on a year, and I can tell you that I've inherited a well-run, well-respected, and well-thought-of organization specifically because of the efforts of people like you. Pam, you are an ambassador to our schools. You're probably the main reason they let me in when I come to see them because of all the work you've done. and Judy, I can't say enough about how smoothly the grant process runs and how efficiently we get those funds out to all of our schools in the benefit that makes to our students. So thank you for your contributions. I have tonight the distinct honor to welcome Mr. Stan Briggs from the Michigan Net Public Radio Network in Michigan. Mr. Briggs, if you could join me. The Michigan Net QMN is one of the nation's oldest public service communications networks, it having been in continuous operation since 1935. This is one of those organizations that most people don't know about, but it is, in effect, one of our last lines of defense in case of widespread emergency in our state and in our region. Today, the QMN provides professional quality emergency public service communications in addition to serving as a section national traffic system net for the state of Michigan. QMN operates a statewide rain gauge network in support of the National Weather Service and conducts periodic emergency exercises to prepare personnel for disaster operations. Agencies that are served by the Michigan Net include state and local emergency management, the American Red Cross, Salvation Army, and similar public and private relief agencies. The reason Mr. Briggs is here is that we are humbled by the fact that Michigan Net has chosen to make a substantial contribution to the Huron Valley Educational Foundation to fund grants in our schools. Those grants are going to fund a number of initiatives, but in particular, weather stations in schools, weather-related research by students, equipment for classes in climate and weather science, and amateur radio stations in middle or high school. Each grant will be identified by being made possible by the Michigan Net QMN, one of the nation's oldest public service amateur radio communications networks, having been in continuous operation since 1935. The Michigan Net will be issued a brief report of the use and outcomes for each grant. Mr. Briggs has been responsible for the operation of the Michigan Net since 1953. He has long standing service to our state and our communities that most people really don't know about. So for that tenure, a quick round of applause. Originally, the Michigan Net received a grant to provide digital communications for the National Weather Service over amateur radio related to collection of weather sampling across the state. As Mr. Briggs described to me, technology sort of moved on, and there is different technology in place to provide that service now, and there were funds left over from that original grant. We are fortunate enough that through one of our trustees, Eric Furlot, Mr. Briggs became familiar with the mission of our foundation, and like I said, we are extremely fortunate that the Michigan Net is going to donate this money to the foundation to put into our schools. As many of you know, last year we funded $20,000 in grants to our schools. That's the most we've ever funded. Long, diligent work by many people over the course of years has built up our ability to put funds into schools. This gift from the Michigan Net is very material as it relates to our total funding that we're able to put in schools. The amount is $4,600 that Mr. Briggs is going to be donating to the Educational Foundation tonight. So please join me in thanking him for providing this awesome, awesome opportunity for our district and our students.
Mr. Briggs, on behalf of the Huron Valley Schools Board of Education, may I say thank you so much, and personally for giving me a whole new image of when I hear emergency broadcasting systems other than so thank you so much.